I'm Catherine Nolan. You can call me Kat, you can call me Catherine, completely up to you, or you can call me Kath. I don't mind. Why am I here? I am your facilitator, your guide for Asian management issues. Some of you will be students, either OUA students or students at one of the Australian campuses. And I'm going to call you my outbound students. So you're going to be the students who are traveling to Vietnam for this tour. The rest of you will be already students somewhere in the College of Business at RMIT Vietnam. All of you are College of Business, RMIT College of Business students, but you'll be in one of the schools in Vietnam and you will be joining us as inbound students. So this is a kind of unique subject. So some of you will be actually at home, others of you will be traveling, which gives this a really nice kind of balance as far as I'm concerned. So what we're doing in this subject is exploring what's involved for an Australian company or a Western company making an investment or making an investment decision in a developing country. And we're using Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City in particular, as our basis for understanding what some of the issues might be. Now, if you finish off this subject and go out and tell the world that you now know everything that you need to know about making an investment decision in a developing country, or in making decisions in relation to investing in Ho Chi Minh, or that as a person living in Ho Chi Minh already, that you now know everything that you need to know in order to attract foreign investment into your business in Ho Chi Minh, then I have failed my job miserably. What I am hoping you walk away from this subject with is a really cool methodology for understanding what the issues might be and for working out what kind of questions you would ask. This is a subject where we will focus on questions rather than on answers. So how we're going to do it is this. We're going to simulate an Australian company. I'm going to be your CEO. An Australian company backed by the university that is seeking to make an investment in Ho Chi Minh. You will be members of my crack team. You've been drawn from all sorts of different disciplines. There will be some law students amongst you, I hope. There will be some accounting students, some HR students, all at master's level, of course. And of course, we will have some MBAs and exec MBA students as well. So we will also have some of my team that are already in Ho Chi Minh, people who are on the ground there who are going to look at to help us really understand what the issues and the risks are before we make our investment decisions. Basically what's going to happen is before we leave, I'm going to learn a little bit more about you. You're going to prepare some work for me that will help you identify what it is that you want to get out of this course and how you're going to bring the discipline that you're already studying in into focus so that you can contribute to a team and that you can consolidate and grow skills that you already have while also looking at how to use them in the unique context of this subject and its learning objectives. So once we're actually in Vietnam, I will be creating groups based on the work that you've done beforehand. Now, when we have a webinar, which will start in a couple of weeks, and there will be a link in Canvas that will allow you to vote for the time that you want to participate in a webinar, I will go through that first assignment in some detail. But for now, basically, let's just stick with an overview. What I'm asking you in that first assignment is to get enough information so that I can put a group of diverse students together, students that have different backgrounds, different disciplines, and different focus points, but hopefully have some common interests so that we can get you to explore a particular theme together. So in previous iterations of this class, I've had groups that have looked at manufacturing, groups that have looked at tourism, groups that have looked at outsourcing particular types of services, and a range of different things. We're limited effectively by your interests and your imagination here. Now, what was likely to happen too is we might actually form some expert teams, just depending on what resources we have. Sometimes I've had a treasury team, and I've also had an internal law firm. And those groups have drawn on their own deep specialty to advise and to work with the teams that are coming up with a business proposal. So while we're in country, what we're going to do is work together and as we go and visit a whole lot of different organisations, or in some cases, those organisations will come to us. We will, of course, draw on the expertise of our colleagues at the RMIT Vietnam campus, and we will get some overview about what's happening in that country from an economic standpoint and from some cultural standpoints. So we've got some pointers to start with. We're going to meet with a range of different organisations, and we're going to do so basically with a view to doing our own due diligence, to working out where we think the opportunities are and what the risks are. And at the end of our week, each of the groups is going to present to the rest of us what their investment proposal would be, what area they think requires a further deep examination. Now, of course, you're going to have to follow that up with a report. And in that report, you're going to have to do some research that you won't be able to do in country. So while we're in Vietnam and while you're preparing your reports, I don't want to see you on the internet. I don't want to see you reading library books. What I want you to be doing is researching just the way you would if we were in an industry situation, using your intellect, using conversation, using the ability to interview people, observation, and we're going to use a whole heap of design thinking and other tools to pull that information together. In particular, I'm going to draw quite a lot on the business model canvas, which those of you who have been in the MBA world will probably be quite familiar with. But of course, for those of you who are not, we're going to draw that together, and you'll get some opportunity to learn about that as we move forward. And you'll use that business model canvas to consolidate your idea about what you think your value proposition would be, what your costs would be, and how you would ultimately derive revenues from this business idea that you want to pursue. So afterwards, after you've done the presentation, each of the groups will submit a report, and then each of you will also be required to reflect on what you've learned, how you're going to use it, and how you're going to move that forward, and that will represent your final assignment. Along the way, we're introducing some micro-credentials, at least for the Australian-based students. I'm yet to know whether they're going to work for the Vietnamese-based students yet. So there are a couple of micro-credentials that have been embedded into this course. If you can provide evidence that you've completed those, you'll get full marks. All up, they will represent 5% of your overall marks, so it's an easy 5%. And then you get a little badge that you can put on your LinkedIn profile as well. And yes, that's really what I wanted to say to start off with. When we do the webinar, we'll talk about some of the logistical arrangements. Logistical, not sure that's a word, but I think you know what I mean. For those of you who are going to be traveling, there's a survey in Canvas that's asking you for your travel dates and your allergies and information, etc. So basically you organize your own travel. You need to be in Vietnam on those dates, and we strongly recommend that you stay in District 1 so that we're all in the same area, and that we can, roughly half of the days will start in District 1, the others will start in District 7 on campus. But other than that, basically, it's really up to us to start talking to each other rather than just me talking at you in a generic video like this. Can't wait to get started. Love this course. We're going to have so much fun.